What's the mechanism by which the currency goes to shit if low wages go away? In other words, if Americans start making more money, what destroys the dollar? It's because of debt, the lack thereof. I have puppy fur all over me. It's the lack of debt. The US dollar is a debt-based currency. That's the reality. It requires you to be in debt all the time, always and forever in debt. It requires that. If the debt goes, if debt went away for the average American, then they become uncontrollable, which means they don't have to work anymore. They can just say, oh, well, my house is paid off, my cars are paid off, I don't have any bills, so I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to live life on my terms. I don't have to go and work in your shitty factory. I don't have to go work in your shitty government. I don't have to go work in, I don't have to, in other words, I don't have to do anything that you fucking tell me because I have fuck you money, right? Okay, we're on the same page? So, yeah, so the mechanism breaks down like that. If wages started coming up in America, let's say, again, you deported all these millions of illegals, and I've done videos on this issue that I don't have a problem with the people coming here. That isn't the big issue to me. It's that they're coming here in such huge waves that they're propping all of this up, and we want it to collapse. You want Americans to pay all this stuff off, so you have a day of reckoning, it all collapses, and then when it all collapses, then there's really no reason to come here anyway. Because most people are just coming here for free shit. They're not coming here, for, liberty and justice for all. They're not coming here for that. They're coming here for free shit. They're coming here for money. So, yeah, that shit stops. All of that shit, all that third world shit stops. Because then there's no reason to come here. So, yeah, I mean, if your wages start coming up from the bottom, particularly from the bottom up, this is the biggest problem. It's not from the top down. If the bottom up starts coming up, this is why I point out minimum wage should be like $150 an hour. If you start doing that, the people on the bottom, they start wiping out their debt much faster. How quickly could you pay off all your so-called student loans, those ridiculous student loans? How quickly could you pay them off at $150 an hour? Very quickly. How quickly could you pay off your car? How quickly could you pay off your house at $6,000 a week in income? How quickly could you pay off a lot of stuff? You're already existing fixed debt. I'm not talking about new debt. I'm about fixed debt, the already existing debt that you currently have, your credit card debt, so on. How quickly would the average American pay that stuff off? Very quickly. It would not take long, considering that the median household income in the U.S. is $80,615, I think, as of today, and that's gross. First of all, that's the gross number. And that's with two people working oftentimes. So if two people working were each making, say, $6,000 a week in minimum wage, which is what it really should be, that's just minimum wage. That's not including any skilled trades. That's just minimum wage. How quickly would those two people pay off all of their debt? How quickly would they be out of debt? How quickly would other professions be out of debt? How quickly would anybody? That's the problem. Americans go out of debt very quickly, and and it's like you would think, like, well, but wouldn't that be the Dave Ramsey wet dream? No, it would not, because Dave would lose all of his money, all of his fake bullshit money. That's why he never discusses actual inflation. That's why he never has conversations like this, because yeah, it's a debt-based currency. If the people pay off all their debt, the bankers are stuck with worthless fucking paper. They're stuck with worthless fucking paper that they can't do shit with. And that if nobody needs to borrow it now, well, now they have worthless paper that has no value of any kind. Of course it doesn't have any value. No mathematic nor intrinsic value of any kind in the US dollar. None. So that's why they have to have wages always staying perpetually low. That's why they have to keep flooding the country with illegals and H-1Bs and the so-called best and brightest from places that can't figure out fucking septic tanks. That's why they do that. That's why they flood the country with that. Because they need to have those people showing up and doing it for way less money, like 10 times, 10x less money. I'm gonna let that sink in, because that's really what it should. I'm like, dude, wages should be 10 times higher than they are right now. Just based on real inflation. Dude, just based on the inflation that is recent, going back to just 2020. Remember 2020? Remember the COVID, right? Just that alone, prices, everybody knows prices have increased 100% or more. Real world inflation has been, just in that time, over 100%. How many of you got 100% increase in pay in the same time frame? Doing the same job? Probably none of you. That's the mechanism by which this happens. So you want that to happen. You want all that stuff to collapse, but it's not going to collapse without help. So I hope that helps.